Before you start, am I open to say anything I want to?
Yeah. You can curse. It's totally uncensored. Absolutely. That's what. Hey, it's Vegas, man. You think I'm doing man on the street interviews in Vegas and telling people they can't curse?
Well,
we wouldn't be able to do any interviews out here.
Well, we're from South Carolina, so things are different, way different back there. Keith Grice, South Carolina, with my wife Sonia, and we're on vacation.
And what do you think about the mask policy in casinos here in Vegas?
I'm on the fence with it because I think everybody should have a choice like anything else. It's your body, just like we saw protests yesterday about the abortion issues. I know it's a pandemic, I know it's all that, but I haven't done it. I haven't been vaccinated, but I will wear a mask when I'm asked to do so.
You know it's a pandemic. How do you know it's a pandemic?
Well, good point. That's a good point, isn't it? Because they tell us it is. Okay.
Right. So you kind of just like passively comply when you're asked.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time you don't go along with it.
Nope.
So you didn't get the vaccine then, right?
No, I haven't.
Why not?
There's not enough data, if you will, or information that actually proves that vaccine works. There's people that's still...
Well, hold on. On behalf of the government, I would like to tell you that we have plenty of data to support the safety and efficacy of these vaccines. Okay. So it's not a shortage of data.
So then why are people getting sick from getting vaccinated?
That's not a thing. You're obviously reading some conspiracy website that we censored. No, that's not real. And anybody who says that on the internet gets censored, and so it's not a thing.
I'm not a worrywart. But I'm very skeptical of a lot of things, especially the government. And just because they say it, don't mean it's true. And until
are you saying government lies?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
How do you know that? Did government tell you that? Because if government didn't tell you that, how would you know that?
Well, I'm not a government official, but I'm smart enough to choose for myself and to think for myself. I'm a human being with a brain.
Okay, so government lies. Why does government lie?
Because they've been trained to do so.
Well, what's the point? Like, what's the objective when they're lying? What are they trying to get away with?
Well, I don't think it's world dominancy, if you will, but I do believe that the government wants to keep us under their thumb.
Yeah. And keep the rich getting richer at the expense of the rest of us, right?
Fine. If you're smart enough to get rich, fine. Right. So be it. I'm not that smart. Okay? I'm not that smart to get that rich.
But you're smart enough to see that billionaires are getting way richer during this pandemic, right?
The old, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours idea, man. I mean, so if you're smart enough to do it, so be it.
So when you say that, like at a casino here, when they ask you to comply, you go along. You chose to go into that casino. You choose to have fun. You accept that the business is. She's shaking her head. You don't accept it.
That don't mean I won't walk in that casino without a mask on. I'll put it until they ask me to.
And then you comply.
Yeah. Because I don't want to start any shit. I'm on vacation. I'm trying to enjoy myself. If I get kicked out of somewhere, so be it.
No, I definitely respect. Like, you made the decision to come to Vegas from the East Coast, and you're here to have a good time and enjoy it, and whatever that is for you here.
We didn't specifically come to Vegas. We're going literally all the way around the United States.
Cool. So you have a sense of how enforcement is pretty varied, right?
Not really.
No, like in different places they say mask right away, and some places it's totally optional.
That's what you're saying now. Yeah, it is a little different.
California is like the Australia of America, kind of nuts with it, right? K-12 students are all required there to get vaccinated now, just to go to at least government schools.
The government is running enough of our lives. The government is not here to protect us from ourselves. They're here to protect us from foreign foes, and domestic. But who's the domestic foe here?
Sounds like if the troops defended freedom, they'd attack the government, right?
Yeah, that's not right. It's absolutely not fair. It's not right.
So you say, though, at some point you'll go along. Like when you're at home, are there any times in your daily life at home that you have to wear a mask, or you feel like you end up wearing a mask? No grocery stores required there. How about the DMV? Have you had to go to the DMV lately?
Federal buildings.
Yeah. So you wear it there?
Well, I rarely go in them. I can't.
As little as possible, right?
Yeah, well, I don't have that reason to go in federal buildings, So,
But if you did, you would comply to like go to court or for like a traffic hearing or something like that, right?
yeah.
Because if you didn't, they would come to your house and fucking get you, right? Like, you know that there's a threat of force behind all of that.
Yeah, they don't want to come to our house. No. No, that's not going to happen.
You do it out of respect to walk into a business.
Yeah.
Out of respect at a business, yeah.
If they, don't let me.
I told him at the beginning that I could tell she was in charge.
I think with us, it's like a respect thing. We're walking into someone's business. We're business owners, and to walk into their business, they're asking for us to
It's
wear.
by the choice, the request of the business.
Yes, but not out here on the street. It's
Yeah.
like you walking into my house, and if I ask you to take your shoes off, because that's how we live.
But and I respect that principle, 100% agree. But obviously, when people are being bullied into creating those policies in those first place, you know, if you don't have this policy, your business is shut down here, right?
You have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
You have to pick your battles. So you still have that personal choice to do so. You can do anything in the world you want to do if you think about it.
So what's your battle?
Whatever I'm faced with. So
So here you're just complying.
I choose to wear a mask when I want to wear it.
Do you really want to in those situations?
Hell no, I don't want to.
So where is your battle then? Why, when you if you see, this is what, okay, here's where I'm really going to put you on the spot, sir, because I think your perspective is not that unique, but it is uniquely aware of certain very important things that a big chunk of America is in denial of, right? Because a big chunk of America thinks that government is trustworthy and we should go along and get along, right? And you see that, but it doesn't sound like you're seeing the full implications or really acting on it. And when it comes down to it, when the rubber hits the road, you comply.
Well, we vote, okay? We have a choice to do that. We are putting our trust in these officials to think they're going to speak for us and do the right things for us.
How's that working for you?
Very few people that do that. There are a couple that I know of.
Maybe you should vote harder.
How?
Exactly.
How do you vote harder?
Well, so does it seem like futile at this point that maybe the electoral system or voting for Republicans and Democrats is going to be hopeless?
No, it's what you said earlier. It's what they are teaching us to believe. So people, either they don't give a shit about their own personal rights, or they just think it's better to go along with what they're told to do, the sheep.
Okay, so last question. I promise. I promise, ma'am. She's yeah. All right. No, you like this? All right. So, if you knew that there were that you had the majority on your side in this awareness, because I believe that you do. I believe that the people who are in denial of what he's presenting about the trustworthiness of government, it's a minority that is amplified by the mainstream media, amplified by government, because they want the rest of the people who think like us to comply, right? So if you knew and you could talk to everybody in America who's, I don't want to say the silent majority because we're not silent, but if we could realize that we are the majority, the people who don't trust government in America are the majority, and if we could get together, what would you want to see happen? So what would your ideal battle be? You say pick your battles. If we had everybody behind you on this, who could be behind you on this, where would you go with it?
That's a good question. I'd have to think on that for a minute.
What change would you want to see most fundamentally in America?
Again, I'm thinking here, but I would think that if people were told the truth, they could make a better or more rational decision. Okay, but there's so many people that are taught, starting at home, that, and I've said this for a long time, kids today are taught that they're special and that you can do anything in the world you want.
Trophy generation bullshit.
To a kid, well, I'm going to go out here and shoot somebody. It's the society that's doing this. And the government, you know, it's not all the government. But if you think, another a coined term I call the Walmart syndrome. Okay, think about this. People want things real cheap.
I love Walmart.
I can't stand it. They want to be able to use it, and then they want to be able to return it for a full refund.
Oh, I love doing that to rip off Walmart.
The mindset of America right there.
Well, in this case, in my case, I like ripping off Walmart because they benefit from my taxes and the fact that I was in the military and that I served and I worked for the system, and people have profited off of that. And like you said, and I think the first thing you said is like, you know, that there are a lot of lies being told. There's a lot, and we accept government authority as truth, and we accept that there's a certain amount of censorship on the internet right now. And I think we could agree on coming together around that. But I wouldn't. I think we also need to recognize that Walmart and other major corporations, the line between what is a private corporation and what is a government agency is not just being blurred, but clearly those major corporations are beneficiaries of those lies, of that government policy, of taxation, of corporate policy, of COVID, because you see the rich are getting way richer over the course of this pandemic.
Well, but it's just like you had a choice of everything you just said. So the owners, the CEOs of Walmart thought, well, if I buy in bulk, this and that. So it just got bigger and it caught on. Yeah. Okay, so who's at fault for somebody thinking the way they thought,
right,
to make a living that's just like the rich getting richer? Well, they're smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you asked me if what I would change.
I would say that there's a point, though, at which all of the corporations today, at least, and I agree with you in the history and how it can come up and you can get rich and build a big business in a righteous way. Right. But today, every major corporation sends lobbyists to Congress to make sure that they get to keep profiting off of an unfair system that screws over everybody else. Yeah. And so at that point, they are not only profiting from the existence of the system, but they are perpetuating the injustice of it. But yeah, to the bigger point here, I think that there are people who realized what you understand as a fundamental perspective and said, well, what is the next battle? How do we engage? That we would see that not quite silent majority radically reduce government's power, and we'd all be a lot happier for it.
Well, and I don't think not the radicals or whatever, but the majority, you made that comment, the majority has gotten to the point that it's bad enough yet. Okay, that's a bad term, bad enough.
Is it bad enough to get you off the couch?
Is it bad enough to get you off the couch? So you asked me, why do I comply? So far, it's not bad enough that I put it on when I'm asked to do so. Yeah. Otherwise, right. Now, if I'm forced to do something, that's a whole different story. So people can be who they want to be, but don't force it on me. You understand? I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're black, white, green, red. I don't care. We're all human. We're all the human race. But don't force your issues on me and then expect me to comply.
Maybe we should get off the couch before it gets bad enough for everybody to get off the couch.
I agree.
We will meet that challenge with courage and love, and as always, we the people will prevail.